Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video it is Sunday, so it is Pits and Peaks Day. If you are not familiar with this style of video I do on my channel, I talk about things that didn't go so well for the week being my pits for the week, and things that went better this week being my peaks for the week. I have had a better week this week than last week, so I have more peaks than pits to talk about. We will talk about the pits first and then we'll get into the peaks last so we can end on a high. So I will just get straight into it. So pits for this week, for anyone that is not familiar, that may not have seen my training diary video, I have gone gluten-free in a attempt to try and resolve or figure out the GI issues that I'm having on my long runs. Basically, long story short, I've been going to the toilet on some of my long runs, which is really inconvenient. So I want to stop that as much as possible. So I've been trying to figure out what is triggering those issues. So one of the things that I know that I eat quite a lot of is bread, pasta, things like that. So the first sort of thing that I thought to cut out of my diet would be gluten. So that is what I've been doing. I have been gluten-free all week. I've really sort of stuck to that. So yeah, I've just sort of been figuring that out. So the pit with that is that it's been really hard to plan my meals, and it's actually been quite expensive with gluten-free. Everything that I've sort of looked at or gone for that is gluten-free is so much more expensive than it was if you were to buy just normal non-gluten-free food, especially like bread and pasta and things like that. It's just so much more expensive. So yeah, I've been sort of trying to figure out meals and things to have, lunches. Obviously for lunch I tend to have things like couscous and tuna, and I don't know what part of me didn't think that couscous wasn't wheat, but it is, so I can't have couscous, so I'm having to try and find alternatives, or like gluten-free alternatives of those sorts of things. Sandwiches and stuff like that is fairly obvious, I guess. I would just buy the gluten-free bread. But yeah, it's just, especially meal times, because obviously Philip is not gluten-free. I'm having to try and figure out what he can eat that I can also eat without restricting him too much, if you get what I mean. I'm sorry if the sun is shining on that side of my face, it's just because of the time of day and I can't really get rid of it. I've got the blinds down and it's still making no difference. So yeah, just the fact that meals at the moment are hard to sort of plan and figure out is annoying, and the fact that things are so expensive. So that is my first pit for this week. My second pit for this week is that my training has not gone to plan at all this week. I have done my long run and one other run. Both of the runs went quite well in the grand scheme of things, but I'm obviously supposed to get 4 runs in a week and I haven't, so I'm quite disappointed in that. I definitely need to make sure that I pick that up, because I think I mentioned this in last week's video as well, that my training wasn't quite up to scratch and I wasn't getting in the 4 training runs a week, and I still haven't done that this week, so I really sort of need to pick up the ball on that and get back into it. So for the most part I'm getting the sort of long important run out of the way, but the whole point is that you get all 4 of the runs done from the training plan, and yeah, I'm not doing that at the moment, so that is the second pit for this week. I have no other pits to talk about, the rest are peaks, so we will get into those next. So I guess carrying on from the gluten-free stuff that I talked about earlier, I have been gluten-free all week. I have stuck to it all week. The positives from that, I have noticed some subtle changes. I don't want to go too TMI with this one, but I feel like it might be important for other people that might be going through the same thing. I would say that I am quite regular in terms of going to the toilet. I would go at least twice a day. And I've been finding that I've been going just the once or no times at all this week, so there has been quite a difference with regards to sort of the regularity of when I go. And I had no toilet stops on my last long run, so I don't know whether that's a fluke or whether that is to do with the fact that I've changed up my diet. I do feel like I have I have consciously made an effort to eat healthier at the same time as changing to gluten-free. So I don't know whether that is having a difference, maybe the sort of overhaul in my diet and cutting out all the crap and the snacks, because I haven't really been able to find many sort of gluten-free alternatives. I'm not able to eat biscuits and stuff like that I would usually eat, like Kit Kats, small little snack Kit Kats and things like that I would typically eat. I can't eat them because they're not gluten-free, so I do feel like there's been a massive overhaul with my diet, which might be the reason why my sort of bowel habits have changed, and it might not be the gluten-free. But we'll just have to see how it sort of progresses. But yeah, there has been a significant change with my diet. I have been under my calories. I've been tracking all the time because I am tracking both my food and my bowel habits in separate apps, so that if gluten-free doesn't work and dairy doesn't work and I go to the doctors, I've at least got like everything written down. I've got a diary of everything to take to them, because some people have said that if you do go to the doctors they will ask for that, so I want to be prepared if it comes to having to go to the doctors to sort of get them to do an investigation on it. So yeah, I have been tracking my food this week and I have been under my calories. That hasn't been intentional, that's just how I have been eating. I just haven't been hungrier than that, so I haven't been eating if I'm not hungry, sort of thing. So overall it's been quite a good change, quite a positive change, so we're just going to have to see how it goes over the next couple of weeks. But I do think that just in general my well-being and my way of eating is a lot healthier since changing to gluten-free. My next peak for this week is that my long run was done this week. I touched on this again in one of my pits. I did do my long run. I didn't meet the required mileage, but I am swapping my plan around. The plan is there as a guide, it's not there as a sort of fixed thing. So I have swapped my runs around. I will talk more about that in my training diary, which will come in hopefully on Wednesday. But I did a long run. It went a lot better than last week in terms of both energy. I think I'm still not there with my fueling, but I didn't have any sort of toilet stops or anything like that, so it was definitely better than last week. So I'm counting that as a peak. My next peak for this week is that I've been fully on track with my challenge for this week. I've done every single challenge for the 75 hard, so I've had a full 7 days on track. That includes both my water, my tracking in my diary, for my food and my reading and things like that. I've done all of them this week. I will leave a sort of thing here which shows me like completing the spreadsheet for this week, and I will show you a NutriCheck view as well. There are 2 crosses in my NutriCheck for this week, but I was under calories on other days, so I'm not really classing those as an off day really. Just the fact that I've tracked on those days, I'm counting that as completing the challenge. So that is that. And then the last one, I don't want to go into too much detail about this. I have mentioned, I mean, without specifically mentioning the issue, I had some things that I was going through quite a while back, and I needed to have a general anaesthetic, which I mentioned, I think it was last week, to have something done, and the results, no it wasn't last week, it was the week before, so it was 2 weeks ago. I've had my results back from what happened in the general anaesthetic, and I've had the all clear, so it is a massive weight off my shoulder for that. I will potentially do a video on that in the future. The reason why I'm not mentioning it is because it's going to be very long-winded for me to sort of explain it, and I don't want to make this video too long, so if I'm going to do it I will make a separate video on it. So that's probably what I'm going to plan on doing. It is sort of an important topic, I think, and there may be people out there that are going through the same thing or a similar thing, so I want to be able to have that information out there, because when I was personally looking for that information there wasn't a lot of it, so I do think it's important to do that video, and I will plan on doing it. So for anyone that's interested in that, do keep an eye out. I will do it at some point. But yeah, just for the sake of not rambling on too much, I'm not going to mention the specifics of it, just because if I mention it then I won't be able to go through the whole context of it. But yeah, that came back all clear. I'm really happy about that. So the weight lifted off my shoulders, no more stress about that, no more sort of stress waiting for the results and things like that. That is all sort of done and dusted. And I think that is it for my peaks for this week. So I've done pits and peaks. It's going to be very short and sweet. So I'm just going to end the video here. So if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can always click the notification bell down below and be notified of when my videos go live. Leave me a comment down below letting me know your pits or your peaks for this week if you have any. But other than that, I hope you're all safe and well. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, whenever it is that you're watching this, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye.